Look at my face and my neck. I can't eat red meat anymore. I can't have any animal byproducts in anything. And it's in everything. This is alpha-gal syndrome.
Ticks are being released in American farmland that appear to create a condition called alpha-gal, which is allergy to red meat.
How could a tick-borne illness suddenly be impacting so many people, not just people living in rural America, but in suburban America as well?
Ticks are disturbing little guys when you see them. If you look at an insect under a microscope, it could give you the heebie-jeebies, and with good reason. For all we know, it's a hieroglyph from the mind of Bill Gates. He's using ticks to mark out peculiar sigils all over American farmland.
And then we heard from Dr. Matthew Lau at the World Science Festival 10 years ago.
People eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would, it would actually really help the planet. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
And then you start to connect the dots even more, and you find out that Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation spent millions of dollars funding genetically engineered ticks, and that Bill Gates is also a major investor in lab-grown meat, and now we've got almost 500,000 Americans living with a rare tick-borne illness that makes people allergic to meat, but not the lab-grown meat that Bill Gates has invested again.
Pretty extraordinary and troubling that Bill Gates has invested in both bio-meats and research that makes the only meat you can eat be bio-meat. He's a wonderful supervillain, Bill Gates. He's a kind of postmodern. I mean, you've already had that. Think of the baddies that you get in James Bond movies, but also Mission Impossible movies. We've already had the kind of autistic nerd ones, that when they meet them, it's an autistic nerd. And that's already happening in reality. I don't know if they're prepping us. You know, there's that idea that sometimes Hollywood movies use plots, figures and motifs that are preparatory because there's a supernatural requirement for us to be somehow included and initiated. When I see stories like this one, I sometimes feel that a kind of worldly analytic is insufficient. It's no longer enough to say, well, this is all about resources. Bill Gates wants to control all of the food land, all of the water. They want to vaccinate us to a point where our psychic and biological condition is managed and controlled entirely by them. If Bill Gates is just a human being like you, and I'm sure he is, don't you feel like that if you had those kind of resources, there might be a point where you would actually recline and think, I only want to be benign. I only want to participate in actions that are beneficial to others. But are we all participants in that? Could I be doing more good? Should I just spend all my time at soup kitchens and thrift stores helping? I don't know, man. I don't know. But the reason I bring that up is that isn't what Bill Gates is doing. While claiming to be involved in philanthropic projects, he's usually doing things that seem like social engineering at such an extraordinary scale. I mean, it's terrifying enough when you imagine the bleached out and horrific spreadsheet future that they're shepherding us towards. But when you consider that there's a requirement for sabotage to get us there, i.e. they need to mess up the food source, they need to introduce new diseases and viruses. I'm not claiming that this is literally actually what's happening in the case of Bill Gates, but if a relatively vanilla organization like Newsmax is willing to run on the basis that Bill Gates is verifiably involved in biomeats, he's verifiably involved in research around ticks, and if that was that footage 10 years old? Is that what you're saying? That Asian looking dude was saying that 10 years ago?
Setting it all up.
There's a tick called the Lone Star tick. He's your friend. He's your little buddy. Have you ever tried to get a tick off of a dog or off of yourself? If they leave a little bit of their leg in you, it's a nightmare, isn't it? But people are, it seems, using pretty traditional methods to thwart the tick crisis. Who would have thought the humble guinea fowl and its pecky beak would be sufficient for pecking away dirty ticks?
These are our tick hunters. We hear everybody talking about how bad ticks are this year. This is what you need. They literally love ticks. They go around looking for them and eating them. There's always a trade-off, isn't there? That's an annoying sound.
That's what they do, but, you know, they will eat up your Lone Star ticks that are turning you into a meat allergic wuss. So there you go. That tick story could be the early bubbling symptoms of more global imperialism. Perhaps it is, perhaps it isn't. But remember that you operate now in a psychic space, a spiritual space, a world, a culture where nothing can be excluded because they wouldn't do it for moral reasons. If they, this is the check I run. Could they do it? Yeah. Would they do it? Yeah. Would you know about it, and would they tell you the truth about it if they were doing it? No, they wouldn't. All right, so then should be open to chemtrails. You should be open to UFO technology or UAPs or whatever they call it now. Basically what I'm saying is trust no one and remain fully armed. Get yourself a gun and a guinea fowl, baby, and be ready to go at all times. Mwah, sweet Gunchester. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. You've probably seen the headlines about the cruise ship outbreak. 3 deaths so far, multiple cases confirmed, and now US travelers are being monitored after exposure to Andes hantavirus. Remember, that's not Hebrew for anything, although there's some controversy around that. The only strain known to spread person to person. Here's the scary part. Hantavirus can incubate for up to 8 weeks. People can leave without symptoms and unknowingly spread it across airports, cities, and countries before anyone realizes what's happening. The last pandemic taught us something important. When a new virus appears, the healthcare system gets overwhelmed fast. Pharmacies run out, prescriptions get delayed or denied. Can you rely on the system for your and your family's health needs? The answer is no. You can only rely on yourself, and here's some kit. I recommend getting the Contagion Emergency Kit from the Wellness Company. Get it at your home now before you need it. It's not about panicking, it's preparation. Yes, right? Become a prepper. Order online now. It comes with doctor-prescribed medications like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Tamiflu, Z-Pak, plus budesonide, and even a nebulizer for respiratory systems. So instead of scrambling when the next outbreak hits, you already have these critical medications and respiratory tools on hand ready to use. Go to twc.health/brand right now to get your kit, and you will save up to $33 and get free shipping. Thanks for watching the video. Have a look at this one over here, or join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Rumble.